It was bringing this to you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us and Happy New Year. I'm Chris Thomas.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm Laura Painter. Great to have you here on this first day of 2026. We start tonight with your weather impact alert.
Yeah, we have team coverage tonight. ABC10's Austin Castro is at Boreal Ski Resort with people hitting the slopes.
And meteorologist Brendan Minchef is here with the rundown of the weather you can expect as we approach the first weekend of the new year.
Okay, but let's start with a live look on I-80 near Donner Summit. You can just see the snow lining the road there. And Brendan, here's the deal. I understand there is more of that on the way. So if people perhaps have plans to head up the hill, they need to pay attention to your forecast, huh?
Right, looks like some really slick conditions out there.
Yeah, and it's really not snowing much up there at the moment. Yeah, roads are wet, but it's been rain for a little bit, it's been snow for a little bit, but it's really not sticking to the roadways. That's going to be a completely different story by the time we get to the weekend. We've got a second system on the way in with a much colder air mass behind it too. So that's really going to bring those snow levels down. If you're headed to the high country, make sure you got the chains and the snow gear. You're going to need all that this weekend. Over the last 24 hours, you see that first system. We'll back it up here. There it is. Center of that system coming on shore just near the Bay Area brought us quite a bit of rain last night. Heavier rain after midnight, though. So if we're looking for that silver lining for New Year's Eve, it was that, yeah, it was pretty wet out there, pretty soggy, but the heavier stuff showed up while most of us were back home asleep. So again, over the last 24 hours, plenty of rain, the heavier stuff coming through overnight and early this morning. And snow has been off and on. Snow levels going up and down a little bit, but there's a lot more of that on the way, especially by the time we get to the weekend. We've had some isolated thunderstorms down through the mother lode, but we haven't had much of those today. There could be more of those on the way by the time we get to Saturday, too. 24-hour rainfall, it's not bad, honestly, anywhere from about half an inch to an inch of rain across the valley. More than an inch of rain for parts of the foothills. Sonora there, over an inch and a quarter, and not all that much in the high country at the moment. But again, this is just round one. Second system coming in is going to be a bigger system. Some showers tonight, even in the valley. Mainly dry, though, early tomorrow, even through most of the afternoon. I expect us to be dry, but that second system, Friday evening to Friday night, that's much colder, and it's going to bring the snow with it all weekend long. In fact, winter storm warning is now posted for the high country through Monday. 61 is our high temperature today in Sacramento, 64 Stockton, 60 in Modesto, 56 in Vacaville, 43 up in Truckee, 41 South Lake Tahoe. That 61 degrees is more than 10 degrees warmer than where we were for a high temperature the last couple days of December. Right now, 57 in Sacramento, 57 Stockton, 58 Modesto, 40s and 50s in the foothills, 30s up in the high country. Looking towards downtown, not actively raining, but it is wet out there, 57 degrees, 9 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. As we head through this evening, we're going to drop into those mid-50s, and we got some rain coming back. Again, not heavy rain, but definitely going to see some showers through the evening and parts of the overnight. Friday morning, starting off in those upper 40s to mid-50s in the valley, a little bit of a range, 20s in the high country. Friday afternoon, 40s in the high country, 50s to 60 in the foothills, and about 60 degrees across much of the valley. The average high is actually 55, so this is going to be warmer than normal for tomorrow. Dry early, but the next system is working its way in as we speak. Winter storm warning, again, we talked about this, goes into effect tomorrow evening at 10 o'clock and continues until 4 p.m. on Monday. Flood watch out for Lake and Mendocino counties, 4 p.m. Friday to 10 p.m. Sunday. And there's now a wind advisory out through the Bay Area, parts of the North Coast and Coastal Range, but also this one up here in the mid to upper parts of the Sacramento Valley. That wind advisory begins at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, continues through the early morning hours on Sunday. Those strongest winds, though, are going to be places in the upper valley. Think north of Chico, Red Bluff, Redding, up towards Shasta. That's where we're going to see those stronger wind gusts. As we go through the next few hours, you see some of that rain moving through tonight. Then we're drying out. This is the period between systems. We'll even have a little sun tomorrow. But by the time we get to 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, here comes that next system on the way in tomorrow. And again, this is much colder, so snow is going to develop faster and lower than what we've seen with this round of rain. Saturday, 3 o'clock in the morning, mainly dry in the valley, rain in the foothills, though. By noon, we start to see some heavier rain in the valley. Some of this could be some thunder, too. Down through the mother lode, similar story for Saturday afternoon. Plenty of snow up in the high country. And we'll probably do it almost identically again on Sunday. Plenty of snow remains on Sunday. We'll have some scattered rain and even some isolated thunderstorms on Sunday, too. So talking about that thunderstorm chance, just some storms for tomorrow, but the better chance for those stronger to severe storms is going to be on Saturday. We're back in that level 1 marginal risk for those severe storms. That means there is that potential, that better potential for those strong to severe storms. And for the most part, that means some heavy rain and some lightning to go with that. potentially some small hail. As we look at the model snowfall through tomorrow night, not much, but by the time we get into Saturday, Sunday morning, now we're looking at feet of snow across the high country. Snow levels down to 6,000 feet. It's going to be breezy tomorrow, but the strongest winds are going to push in late on Friday and continue through about lunchtime on Saturday. So that weather impact alert continues through Monday. Consider your weekend plans, whether you're in the valley or in the high country. If you're in the valley, that means you need your rain gear, maybe an umbrella, maybe that rain jacket. If you're going up to the Sierra, that means you need your chains and your snow gear and the warm beanie and the warm jacket and all that good stuff because we've got more active weather on the way for the weekend. And I know a lot of folks want to go skiing, but it's going to be actively snowing, so just be ready for that travel.
Something to keep in mind, especially as people make plans for the weekend. Looks like it's going to be a wet and snowy conditions for folks, huh?
Yes, yeah. But, I mean, we need the rain, we need the snow. It's
that time of year, right?
So true. And be prepared, all the gear that you mentioned.
That's right.
All 20, 30 items.
Yes, yep.
Brendan, thank you. Yep. Now, on this New Year's Day, many people are choosing to take advantage of the recent snowfall at local ski resorts. At Boreal Mountain Resort, the slopes are looking pretty busy with skiers and snowboarders. ABC10's Austin Castro has a closer look at how the recent snow has benefited the resort.
The slopes here at Boreal Mountain Resort look much different than they did just a couple of weeks ago. The resort seen several feet of snow during the Christmas week. Resort officials say it's all very much welcome as they start to ramp up towards full operation. For Shasha Dung and 10-year-old Andrew Wang, the Christmas week snowstorm proved to throw quite the curveball for their snow plans.
We actually planned to come on Christmas, but lots of snow and the traffic's bad, so we canceled our trip and we came yesterday. And it's pretty nice.
However, on New Year's Day, it's a much different story. The two seeing a much smoother drive and enjoying the fresh snow.
It's very fun and it's really cool going down slopes.
Boreal is one of the many local ski resorts who have gone from barely any snow before Christmas to a full blanket of it.
We've gone from 0 to 100 very quick up here. We had one chairlift spinning and basically one run going, and now after that storm that just came through, we're able to open 100% of our resort.
A minor power outage did impact the Soda Springs area Thursday morning, but was quickly restored and had minimal impacts to the resort's operations.
It's a little bit of a slow start on New Year's Day. We always know that people are out a little bit later than they usually are.
Still, the fresh powder and decent driving conditions were very much appreciated for groups who have been planning for months to come on New Year's Day.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I heard it was like backed up for like 12 hours even to get up here.
And for others who haven't hit the slopes in a while, they viewed it as a perfect way to ring in the new year.
It's been awesome. I haven't been able to ski since 7th grade, and this is my first time back since then, so it's been 12 years or so, and I'm really excited.
And as the area continues to see active snowfall much like this, definitely an important reminder to check Caltrans Quick Map for all the latest road conditions. In Soda Springs, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
And today, drivers on the morning commute had rain and even some minor flooding, as you can see on Highway 99. Now, you've heard the saying, rain or shine, but today we had rain and shine with the sun finally coming out after the storms over the holidays.
Now to weather news out of Southern California. Look at this dramatic scene. The storm making its mark on the Angeles Crest Highway in the mountains. Right now, it's partially closed due to this massive landslide. The California Department of Transportation says the recent storm caused significant damage to the roadbed in at least 4 locations.
Officials in Switzerland say around 40 people are dead and at least 115 are injured after a massive fire at a popular ski resort. It happened at a bar, and now investigators say it was caused by sparklers placed in champagne bottles. The fire started just over an hour into 2026. Social media video shows people escaping the bar at Crans Montana Resort. One eyewitness who said he was on his way to the bar before the fire watched first responders carrying out the victims.
There were many who were very strong, who stayed strong, and who understood that their life was in grave danger, but decided that mentally it was more important to stay calm.
Officials have ruled out terrorism, saying this was indeed an accident. They also say they're still working on identifying the victims.
Coming up, ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Ha shares what lawmakers are prioritizing in 2026.
And later with the new year comes new federal changes, including Social Security, tariffs, and more. What you need to know. Welcome back. Let's turn now to state matters. The new year means a new session for California lawmakers.
As lawmakers return for the start of session Monday, we took a look at their priorities for the year. ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Huh joins us now with a preview of what to expect. Jenny, always great to have you here in studio with us. And it looks like 2026 is already shaping up to be a very, very busy year for lawmakers. There's a lot on the roster. So we want to start with what are some of the priorities you're hearing from both sides, Republicans and Democrats, and what can we expect to see in this first week back?
And we're talking legislative priorities. They're often reflected in budget priorities, so we haven't quite gotten that yet from the Democrats. Governor Newsom is set to present that during his State of State address, which I should note is in person for the first time since 2020. So that is next Thursday. If the last legislative cycle was the year of housing, and that's exactly how Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas put it, this year is going to be pretty much more of the same. That's what political analysts are expecting. Affordability is that big buzzword, but it's also an umbrella term. It incorporates housing, homelessness, healthcare, and lower energy and gas prices. So that's for Democrats. Affordability, also key issue for Republicans. So it's a bipartisan issue. It's the difference in approach. Political analysts tell me, for Republicans, they're always trying to remove that red tape, lessen regulations, right? That is their idea of making the state more affordable. But again, the approach by Democrats is different. And so for us here, with Democrats being in that supermajority, it's always interesting to see which narrative and which agenda will get pushed at the end of the day. So obviously we are tracking that closely.
And interestingly enough, the local and even state narratives a lot of time turn into national narratives here in California. We saw that with Prop 50 and the redistricting battle. Talk to us about the political implications in this time around with it being an election year.
I want to expand more on the federal and state element as well. We're seeing that with healthcare, right? With the subsidies expiring, premiums are expected to soar. We're also seeing the debate in Medi-Cal cuts. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how California tries to make up for some of those federal funds lost there. Political implication, it's an election year. So all seats in the Assembly and half the Senate is on the books here. And so voters will have a huge impact this year. They can really monitor what their legislators are doing. Hey, they promised to deliver on these issues. Is that in fact what they're doing? Do I want them to run for office again, and will I vote them in? So the voters will have a key impact this time around. Also, what folks are telling me is Newsom is essentially going to be running a shadow campaign for the presidency. So 2028 is a ways out. But in politics, it's not that far out. So people are already talking about this. They're monitoring Newsom's moves very closely. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches his priorities and the budget. Again, maybe with the fact that he will run for president in 2028.
So true. Never say politics are boring, right? Always something new around the corner, and you're always tracking it. So it's easy for us to say, okay, we know exactly what's going to be important. What are some of the big issues? But for some of our viewers, really help put into perspective here, Jenny, why should California voters and residents care about all this nitty-gritty that you're talking about?
Really, because it's an election year and your vote matters. It really will impact who gets to sit in these seats and obviously do all the lawmaking and make these policies for California that can also set a standard at the national level. That's what we're seeing with some of the AI regulations as well. California really kind of standing at the vanguard of AI regulations that are now being considered at the national level and participating in those national discussions. So again, legislators are going to be returning to session, year 2 of this 2-year session on Monday, and they're going to hit the ground running, as will we, with our coverage. So I'm very excited for everyone to be back in person and for us to cover it all at the Capitol.
One of the big conversations, of course, will be the budget as well, with the deficit that we've been discussing, right?
That presentation coming Thursday, so lots to track.
All right, you're going to be busy, but I know you'll keep track of it.
I'm excited for it. Thank you.
Jenny, thank you. Well, next at 5:30, with the new year comes new federal changes, including taxes, travel, and more. What you need to know.
Plus, the city of Lodi making progress on crime with 1 homicide death this year. Hear what the mayor has to say.
Okay, if your 2026 resolution involves budgeting, you might want to take note of changes happening today.
Yeah, they could affect your Social Security benefits, health care costs, and more. Amy Kiley has details on new financial and other measures now in effect.
It's a new year, and new federal changes that start today could affect Americans' wallets and lives. For some seniors, money could get a bit tighter. Social Security recipients are getting a 2.8% cost of living increase. The administration's earnings test, wage cap, and maximum benefit also are going up. But Medicare Part B premium costs are rising almost $18 a month. That's one of the largest increases in the program's history. Add inflation, and the net result could be in the red for some seniors. Meanwhile, millions of people on Obamacare are facing much steeper costs. Pandemic-era subsidies are gone as of today.
We're expecting that on average, premium payments are going to more than double.
This is the first regular tax season with changes in effect from a bill signed in July. They include higher standard and SALT deductions, as well as new breaks for seniors, car loan interest, tips, and overtime.
Those very important things, put more money in working class people's pockets.
A proclamation out yesterday delays tariff hikes on some furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities that were set to begin on New Year's Day. Finally, the president's travel ban is now expanded to 39 countries.
The American complaint is that these countries pose national security and public safety threats.
The city of Lodi ended the year with progress on crime. In 2025, one person was killed in a homicide. It's only down from 2 cases in 2024, but one homicide is the lowest number for Lodi PD since 2017.
If it wasn't for this incident just a few days ago, we would have gone through the year with 0, which is a fairly rare occurrence for a community. But I think that's something that our law enforcement community, our city leaders, take a lot of pride in.
Complex on Harney Lane. Police say it's an open investigation, but might be gang-related. Coming up on ABC10 News at 6, we'll hear from city leaders on why they think homicides are down.
Tonight, months after the government shut down and federal food aid changes, a Carmichael family is still feeding a need with the community stepping in to help. The Boucher family started a community food pantry in their own driveway. It started in response to the federal government shutdown. That's when SNAP food benefits were in jeopardy and largely delayed and diminished during the month of November. They didn't want their neighbors going hungry, so they took to social media and asked fellow community members to join them in donating food. In the last 2 months, they've seen a steady stream of people in need of food, and it's not exactly who they expected.
And the people that come, honestly, it has been the biggest lesson of don't judge a book by its cover, because these are normal people. These are people that you work with. They're people that you're at the store with, and you have no idea that they're hungry.
The family says they plan to continue operating the pantry so long as there's a need. Coming up at 6:30 on To the Point with Alex Bell, how great the need is and how you can donate.
Coming up, have you picked any New Year's resolutions yet? We're sharing advice from experts on how to keep those resolutions from slipping through the cracks. All right, it's always a talker this time of year. With the new year comes New Year's resolutions like getting in shape or saving money or what other pie in the sky things can we think of?
You know, maybe not eating sweets or salty
that.
foods or those types of things. You know, everybody wants
like
to,
it.
Yeah, everybody wants to get in shape after eating all that sweet
I know.
stuff during the holidays, right? Well, sometimes those resolutions fall through, and experts say people give up weeks later and fall back into those bad habits. And so we have some ways to help those resolutions stick. Experts suggest making a system to help direct the goals you want to reach. Map out each step and the resources needed to reach your goal.
Experts also say a little motivation helps you start. Maybe get a buddy to join with you, right? But that motivation can fade over time. So instead, develop discipline by starting small. For example, if your goal is to exercise more, start out by going on a 20-minute walk after lunch or dinner. Maybe aim for 2 or 3 times a week and just add more as you get stronger.
A good support system like friends and family can also help keep you on track. Remember, if you slip one day or 2 or 3 or maybe a week, don't give up.
Or 6 months.
Give yourself small wins each day, right? We're all just trying to make it here.
Yes. Good luck.
Thanks for watching.